Hi. We just finished a co-cleaning session for the Rambo community where I think there were 6 of us all together. We got together and talked to each other um, and cleaned our workspaces at the same time, which I think is a useful thing to do. It was a nice moment of community. We also had turned out we had 4 of us there that had all been part of Clarion West at the same time. 3 of us as Clarion West students, and 1 of us as sort of a Clarion West runner person back in 2005. So we swapped scurrilous Michael Swanwick stories and talked about how much fun that was. So lots of gossip going on there, including how my class made Michael very sad and how we redeemed ourselves, maybe. Anyway, so we did that for an hour. That was a great session, was very productive. I do feel like having a clean space makes your energy flow better. That sounds really sort of new wavy and wishy-washy and feng shui, but I think it is easier to work in a clean space. And one of the things that several of us mentioned was we found things in the course of decluttering, which was kind of cool. Overall, these Zoom video calls that we've been doing, and I'm using Zoom to record this, so this is basically what it looks like, although with a co-working session, you've got a whole bunch of other people. You can go to gallery view and see everybody working together. We've been doing those daily. We have going to make the decluttering a weekly thing, although I also promised to make it sometimes happen on the weekend. So today was on, or in this week it was on Friday. Next week I'll make it on a Saturday or Sunday. And we'll keep going because God knows how long our isolation and working from home will continue. Anyway, so some other stuff that we're doing on Saturday. We're trying Netflix Party, and we're going to watch one of my favorite shows or favorite movies of all time. It's a movie about writing called Stranger Than Fiction. I love that, and so we'll get a chance to watch it together. We'll see how that goes. I'm curious about it. The only thing that did not get hit in the decluttering session today was that I had promised to talk a little bit about my Breyer horses. You can see a bunch of them here in the background. Some people have asked about them during teaching sessions. And so actually those Breyer horses are part of my writing process, and that's going to sound weird. But one of the things that I think is really important as a writer is to don't punish yourself. So A, set goals. B, don't punish yourself for not hitting your goals, but C, do reward yourself for making those goals, and D, make that reward something you wouldn't do otherwise. So, Breyer horses, if you're curious about them, I first fell in love with them as a teenager, or maybe a little bit younger, as a tween, what they call now. Read a bunch of Walter Farley and Marguerite Henry, as one does. So when I was implementing a new process, I wanted to come up with a reward that I would not buy for myself otherwise. And I was like, I really love Breyer horses. And I went on eBay and I was like, okay, I found a horse that I thought represented a good goal. And I wrote the book that is coming out from Tor Macmillan. And this is the girl from Ipanema. And she's one of their equestrals. There are not that many of them. They're pretty special, I think. But the girl from Ipanema is also a piece of music that I love and kind of joke about installing as a elevator type music in the academy. So here's the girl from Ipanema. And so I wanted something a little bit spendy, and I know that mileage is going to vary there greatly. For me, this was a little bit spendy, but something that I really cherish. And as you can see, I'm holding my hand underneath it because I don't want her to fall. And she's got actually museum putty underneath to keep her stable. And I'll go put her back in her place of honor. And so it was really nice, though. I banged out that draft over the course of 6 weeks. I was getting up, some of you have heard this story before, I was getting up at 5:30 in the morning, eating breakfast, going to the gym and working out while thinking about what I was going to write, and then coming home and avoiding the internet and banging out 5,000 words a day. I wrote that draft. Love those characters. Working on the second book right now. Love these characters. So, anyway, so the second Breyer horse that I'm going to show you is also connected to that book. This is I sold the book my agent sold the book in a 3-book deal, 6-figure 3-book deal to Tor McMillan. Now we're going to celebrate. And so this is a very special horse called Carnival. And this was, and some of you are going, 3-book deal, that's awesome. You're sitting on a pile of money. 3-book deal, I kind of divided over the course. You know, you get a chunk when you first turn in the book, you get a chunk when the first book gets published, you get a chunk when the second book gets chaptered, you get a chunk when the second book gets published, and so on. So when you're thinking about that money divided over the course of 3 years, or 4 years actually, not as much as you would think, but awesome to be able to kind of focus on that as sort of a job. I love that. And so here, this lovely fellow, again, really pretty. And this is Breyer does these in a variety of finishes, and I have some others. We'll talk about them. I'll do more of these if you enjoy them. So if you enjoy this, if you want to see more of the Breyer horses, you have to tell me by dropping a comment, by subscribing, by liking, by sharing the word, whatever. So if you want to see more Breyer horse or cat just nattering about shit videos, I'm happy to oblige. I work at home myself, and this is a kind of fun break. Anyway, final horse. I really love this little guy, and this is a reward for a recent longer project, and it's one of the Breyer stablemates. And you can see, this is one I bought off eBay. It's what they call a custom or a modded Breyer, and I do a few of these myself. Again, show you those if you like. But this one is a steampunk Breyer, and they have glued on gears basically, and you can see the mane and tail are made out of that little kind of keychain beading. So you can see those are put on there, and then they antiqued it, so it does look like it was made out of metal. It's got a little touch of verdigris, is that how we say it, on the bronze. So those are 3 Breyers. So I have now fulfilled my promise to talk about the Breyers. So, but the thing that I want to say, if you have stuck with me this far, is figure out a reward. And if you're doing the co-writing sessions with me, you know that when you say you finish something, my first question is, how are you going to reward yourself? So think of a reward, work toward the reward. Don't, for God's sake, don't think of it as punishment. Don't do punishments, because here's the thing. You will associate writing with punishment. And that is a terrible, terrible thing. Don't associate writing with punishment. Associate writing with rewards, with wonderful things, with packages coming in the mail, with things that delight you and bring you joy, silly, wonderful things, indulgences that are for you. That's what a writing reward should be. It should be beautiful and impractical and something that makes you happy. So mileage will vary. If you're curious about the co-writing sessions, I'll stick some stuff in the description of the video. The best way to have access to them is to support me on Patreon. But if you cannot afford that, talk to me. Drop me a line. There's scholarships for the Discord server, as there are for all of the Cat Rambo the Rambo Academy for Wayward Writers classes. And I will finish by telling you there's 2 of those coming up. One is tomorrow. It's Catherine Lundoff doing her excellent So you want to write an anthology class, which is pragmatic and practical and full of inspiration. And if you are thinking about an anthology project, or your writing group is thinking about doing a project, or someone you know is thinking about a project, this is a great class, very worthwhile. If you go on Twitter, look at my Twitter moments, you can find, I believe, highlights from a previous version of this. I know that you can find highlights of the Sunday class, which is with Fran Wild, Journaling for Creativity, another great inspirational class, a class that really will leave you feeling energized and happy, because Fran is a lovely, charming soul who will make you feel better about the world. So, and that's what this community is all about. So, wash your hands, find your good song and sing it, practice isolation. Remember that one of the nice things about these video calls is you can touch your face as much as you like during them. Not in a gross way, though. Be of good cheer, my friends. We have started April. We have gotten through April Fool's Day. What a stupid holiday. And now we are embarking on April. Here in Seattle, we have spring flowers, and we're also getting showers and sunshine and showers and sunshine. And I don't want to say goodbye, clearly, but I have to. So goodbye, and I'll talk to you again soon.